We recently used ThoughtExchange in a decision-making process around the use of law enforcement in our school buildings. And post-Parkland, we decided to implement a new program involving law enforcement having more of a presence, and realized that over a period of time, we were getting feedback from the community that maybe we needed to rethink that was causing some anxiety, some difficulty for members of our community, specifically underrepresented populations, more specifically our African American students and families, saying, this is difficult for me having police officers in the building. Not that they had had difficulties with police officers in our school or in our community, but rather the idea, the fear, the anxiety, the pressure created by that based on relationships across the country and their concern. So we engaged in an exchange, and it provided incredible two-way communication. Had we used other strategies, we would be asking one question in isolation generally, and we would have received feedback, very static feedback coming the other direction, but not any circular exchange of information. Just the simple, we're going to ask you a question, you're going to give us feedback, and then we'll move on. And in all likelihood, asking that question would have set up almost a vote on whether this was a good strategy or not. And likely the 70% majority and largely white population would have said, good idea, let's move on. But they would have never engaged in the deep thoughts and feelings of the minority population, specifically in our African American students or their families, or other people in the community that also had these concerns. We didn't do demographically break it down, but generally many people felt this way, and it gave us that two-way feedback, very different than the in isolation asking a question. And by being open-ended about that, we received a significant amount of feedback on other safety strategies. So it created a very positive dialogue, not just a vote on that one specific strategy, but gave us other information to act on as well. I think what was most interesting about that is that our community had to engage in a conversation, not just provide an answer. It wasn't just one decision point, but rather accepting and receiving and analyzing for yourself the thoughts and feelings of the people around you, the people you live with, the community that you're a part of. Not just a single answer, I like it, I'm going to move on, but really pushes people to think, to really honor and respect the feedback of their neighbors and friends in a very different way than they would if they were just answering a survey question, which is focused on the individual. It's focused on just your thoughts. Engaging in a conversation is more difficult, but much more powerful. It's much more transparent. It's much more authentic. Leads to a better decision, but a decision that's made by lots of people, not just a small group of people in isolation.